button.
Yep.
I'm going to try from here and see what happens. Well, good morning, everybody. It is Sean with The Guy Who Sews, and welcome to the Brekkie with The Guy Who Sews. And I am super excited to have my friend Shannon Way from SleighArts join me this morning. She is my special guest. So, oops, hang on. This is what happens when you don't turn the sound off on your other computer. Okay, so we keep it real here on The Guy Who Sews. So good morning, everybody. And yeah, do you want to just say hi to everyone, Shannon? Just let us know who you are, where you're from, a little bit more about your channel, because, you know, you're fairly new to the game. And, you know, just tell us a bit more about what you do.
Very cool. Good morning, everybody. Thank you so much for having me on. I'm excited to sew along with you. I'm Shannon Way from SleighArts. We were just talking about all the socials. There's so many socials now, but I just started my YouTube channel 3 months ago. So I'm very, very new baby to the world of YouTube, and I'm learning through all the painful technical pieces of what it means to run a YouTube channel. But I'm having a lot of fun, and I've had a lot of support from folks like yourself and Stephanie and Steven. So a lot of S's, which is always good. And I had started my channel a while ago thinking that I would be doing some digital art stuff, but what really got me to start videoing is because of this right here, these legit kits, folks, because my goal is to become a certified instructor. And part of that is showing that you can actually speak and help people along. And I thought, well, the best way I can do that, since I don't live in Oklahoma, right? Yeah, Oklahoma, anywhere close to them, is to start putting it on YouTube. And so that's how that all came about.
And that's excellent. And I love that goal of yours, that you want to be an instructor for them, because they are a great little company. I do have one of the patents. I still have not bought the fabric. And poor little Toasty's probably going to sit on the sidelines for a while. There's just so many other projects I want to do first. And the thought of having to go to the store and try and pick out 50 some different fabrics kind of terrifies me. But, you know, I didn't want to do the red. So, you know, it's my own fault.
Yeah, no, that's...
But, you know, I figure when the time is right, I'll go get Toasty stuff. But I think it's great that you have that. And then, like, you talking about starting a channel so you can learn to speak, you know, in front of the camera and in front of people is such a great goal. Because I know when I started my channel, geez, it was like 18 months ago now. I just can't believe it's been that long. I was absolutely terrified. Like, if you go watch episode 1, take it with a grain of salt, because yeah, I was absolutely terrified. I am an introvert to a T. If you look at that definition in the dictionary, you'll probably find my picture there. And you know, I have come such a long way since then. So yeah, absolutely. You know, I think it's great if it's something you want to do. You know, get out there, just start it, you know, because you will improve. You'll look back in 6 months and say, hey, look, I'm so much better. I'm so much more polished and professional. Yeah. And I mean, I wouldn't call myself professional, but does that make sense? Like,
oh yeah. More professional though. You tweak some things and you've learned from the mistakes. Yeah.
And I'm sure the other folks in the chat that have their own channels, like Crystal Hart and Fallon from So Be It Quilts, and Steven's usually on, but although I think he's having his sew-in day this morning, so he won't, but he's usually hanging around with us. And yeah, I mean, they'll tell you the same story, but you know, I think if it's one of those things you're interested in doing, just do it. Putting out that first video to me is the most terrifying thing, because you know, first of all, recording it was terrifying, and then actually hitting publish and just seeing what sort of feedback you get, if any, or if anyone even bothered to watch it. No, so.
even decides. Yeah, and I really kind of, well, I wouldn't call it cheated, but I kind of slow rolled into the channel, because the first few videos were just my hands and showing how I like iron and stuff like that. So there was no, I didn't feel the added pressure of being face to camera. So I kind of slow rolled into it, but then from, I've said it before, but some gentle, not so gentle, friendly prodding folks said, you've got to put your face out there. You got to show people who they're working with and everything. So that
Yeah, and I
was
think
intimidating.
yeah, and I think that's important. It's interesting that you went into it slowly. I kind of just jumped in feet first. I did my very first podcast, and then about 2 days later, I was like, "Hey, let's do Vlogmas," which is, for anyone that doesn't know, it is a daily video for the entire month of
Yeah.
December where you just put out something like, just like a vlog. Like you just put out, what you did that day with your soda, or you went to the grocery store, or you went to the, whatever it is. And I figured, if I need camera time, why not do it daily? Like
Yeah.
no one's got to watch this. So, if I goof up, it's not that bad. And, yeah, I think that was a good way to hop in. But let's go ahead and just say good morning, everybody, because we have a
Yeah.
nice little crowd here this morning. Scroll back up, Sean. Okay, so I can never remember this lovely lady's name, but Kino
Darlene.
No, Kino No Show M is here. Good morning from Fallon at So Be It Quilts. And if you haven't seen her latest video with the cool rulers, you need to go check that out. I need to finish watching that video, but yeah, her and her husband have got this wonderful product out there. Everything they put out is wonderful. I have their clapper and love this thing dearly.
Awesome.
And she even put my logo on it. Like,
oh, I love it.
I love that. So, she is here with us this morning. Pam from the Empty Nest Crafter is here. She's one of my friends from Australia. And
good morning.
she has a channel as well. And she's actually transitioning from quilting to more different types of crafts. So keep an eye out for her channel. She'll be joining me, I think it's next month. I have folks booked until the end of July right now. So I can't keep track of who's coming where. It's all in Google Calendar. Gloria Carlson is here. I got to meet her at the quilt show earlier this year. That was a lot of fun. Martha's Creative Life is here, one of my good buddies, and she has her own channel as well. Cheryl Curley is here. Good morning, Ingrid. Good evening to Janet. She's my good buddy from Western Australia. Teresa Lynch is here with us. Ingrid Bowers, Nancy Gus, Leslie G, Crystal Hart. She has her own wonderful channel as well. I always love hanging out with her when I get a chance, and I need to get her over onto my channel at some point in the near future as well. Fallon is here, and she says, "Thank you, Teresa." Sean knows how terrified I was on the first live. She was very, very nervous, but she handled it like a champ.
Awesome.
Pasita Graham is here. Good morning. She's my good buddy from Ontario in Canada. She doesn't live too far from my Stephen and Walter live. So
very cool.
Yeah, I think that's a lot of fun. And I think I got everybody so far. Fallon says, "I was intrigued by the Legit Kits block of the month, but I'm not great at FPP. I really need to give this one a try. The tutorials I see look like they organize it much better." I would agree with that. Like the how they present it, all the patterns are on, I want to say A4 paper, but it's
8.5 by 11.
Yeah,
A4. Yep.
It's slightly different. A4 is a little bit taller and a little bit wider. It's what they use in the metric world.
Yeah.
But it's all on that sort of size paper. I've got a pattern the other day that we're going to do later in the year, and it's this ginormous big piece of paper. And I was like, why?
Yeah.
The Legit Kits people have worked very, very hard to make it as easy as possible. And I think if you want to start off with FPP and something simple, the block of the month is probably a good thing to try because it looks pretty easy. Like there's not a lot of small pieces right now.
It is.
This is behind you.
Yeah, this is month 1, which was 4 blocks. But a couple of the pieces, like this is, 4 pieces. It is a good one. But what I will say is, if you're on the fence, you're kind of not too sure, but you kind of are intrigued. Today is the last day, like 5:00 Central, 5:30 Central is the last day to sign up. And this is it for this version. I know from the interest that they got and how excited everybody is, they're going to do block of the month again. There'll be another pattern for sure. They'd be crazy not to. It's just so much fun. But for this one, if you want to jump on, today is the last day. So it is intimidating, which was why I started doing the Sundays after I get the block. I'm doing that live on my channel too. Oh, I feel like a salesperson, but I'm excited to have the video up. It's live, and then it'll of course live on my channel for forever. but so many people are scared, and they look at it, even with this, the 4 blocks for 1 month, it's still a lot of paper and a lot of fabric, and it can be overwhelming. And so I'm hoping that with the live sew along that I'm doing with it, that it helps people not feel so nervous and feel like they can jump in. But they do have a rating system on all of their kits. So they do have some beginner friendly ones of just their regular kits. It's just that this block of the month is their most beginner friendly. Like, all of the pieces in the blocks will be larger than even the beginning kits that they have already. So it's just set up to be the first step. Dip your toe in the pool of FPP.
Yeah, and I agree. I mean, I'm just pulling out an example from Toasty. And full disclosure, I have no affiliation with Legit Kits. I'm not, so I'm not here to sell it either. But this is kind of like just one of the pieces here, and it's all on this paper. And like, even the more complicated stuff doesn't look too terrible. So,
yeah. And once you start, like, what the recommendation is to start with those, the blocks on the outside of all of their kits are usually the easier ones. So you start with those and get those out of the way so that you're comfortable with how you place the fabric. But by the time you get to those little pieces, and once you've been doing FPP, I've been doing FPP for a couple of years now, you end up really liking working with the little pieces that because you don't have to work with that small a piece of fabric, but it's much easier to cut and cover and be sure that you're gonna like have that piece taken care of when it's much smaller on the piece of paper, and the fabric doesn't move around as much. So it makes it easier that way too.
Yeah, and yeah, I'll get used to it. I'm very much, but it's nice that we have the resources like yourself, and some of my friends. I know Donna at Handmade by Ying is doing a lot with, she's another ambassador for Legit Kits, and I think Becca's doing it. And there's so many of my buddies that are doing this block in a month. I'm actually setting it out. I thought about doing just the digital only.
Oh yeah.
But I have so many different projects on my plate and so many other things I want to do first. I figure I'll sit this one out. I'll let y'all have your fun. I'll live vicariously through you guys. But maybe next year I'll hop on and do the next one. We'll see. But we did plan on doing some sewing, and we may actually still get to do that. And if not, not a big deal. We're always here to have fun. It's unscripted. We just kind of just roll the punches and have a good time. So what did you bring along to potentially sew with us this morning?
So potentially, if I do get, and it is potentially, it's funny. It is a legit kit because I was very, very excited and lucky to be selected as a test quilter for their Sail Away, which is the beautiful sunset and the sailboat in the background. And I did all my test blocks like immediately. And was like, oh, this is awesome. I really want to be a part of this. And then everything under the sun also happened and started the channel. And I haven't been able to finish the Sail Away, the one that I was selected as a tester for. So I need to get on that so that I can, while I'm showing, I can talk on camera. I also need to show that I can finish a dang project. So I need to get on it.
And then I am going to work on, I originally told Shannon I was going to do some FPP, and then I just don't have the brain space for this morning. So yesterday, I usually decide what I'm going to do on the live like the day before. So that way I can go ahead and cut my fabric and prep it. So that way I kind of come somewhat organized to my live on a Saturday morning. And so I've been doing the Wizard of Oz quilt from Art East Quilt Co. And they have a bunch of mini blocks, and you've seen a couple of them already, the poppies. And so I might do a couple more of those because I still have 6 more of those to make. I did make this one last night, which I'm not making this morning because I haven't cut out any more fabric for this. This one was supposed to be all gray, but to me it looked like a shed. So I kind of changed the colors up, and I'm really, really pleased with how how that turned out. So the ones I'm going to do this morning, with some luck, and I'm not going to get them all done because I always bring like 5 times as much as I could ever possibly want to finish. It just gives me peace of mind that I'm not going to run out of stuff to do. So I wanted to do the emerald block, which, let's see.
Oh, yeah. That's right up my alley. That's so gorgeous.
Yeah. I think I'll start off simple. And then the rainbow, which is going to be a little scary. Trying to do that without making mistakes. And then where'd the other one? On the poppy I already showed you. So that is my plan for this morning. We'll see how far I get. Let's see. We'll go back to the chat because it's flying by so quick. I do not know how Becca and Stephanie and all the other folks do it all by themselves.
Champs.
Sorry?
They are champs at it. I get
absolutely
so behind.
Oh, me too. And this is why I love having a guest on, because I can kind of, have you talk for a little bit while I go scan the chat. I can. Okay, so let's see. It looks like Rob from Quilting in the Man Cave is here with us this morning. Good morning. Rachel Rice is here. And if I mispronounce your name, I apologize in advance. I do my very best, but I am far from perfect. The Foley is here. She says she does not mind small FPP. Mona did what is here. She was with me. Was it 2 weeks ago? I think it was. She was here with me, and she got over 1,000 subscriber mark. So I'm super excited. That is like always a huge milestone.
Yeah, congratulations.
No, it's super exciting. Because she went over it for a little bit and then dropped back down because YouTube does what YouTube does.
Weird stuff, right?
Anyway, but she's well and truly over that mark now, so she should be good.
Yay!
Ingrid says the videos on organization and setup of legit kits that Shannon puts out is very helpful and decreases the overwhelming feeling you might get initially starting a pattern. And I would have to agree with that. You do a wonderful job. And I know like the Cranky Kangaroo does a really good job. There's so many people out there. And I encourage, if this is something if you want to start FPP, I am probably not your best resource for that because I am super new. Although if you want to see someone like struggle and, that sort of thing, as a beginner,
keep it real.
Awesome. But I always encourage folks to go out and check out 4 or 5 or 6 or 10 or 12 different people, because we all have different learning styles, and how I teach my tutorials may speak to person A, B, and C, but Shannon's may speak to D, E, and F, and Cranky Kangaroo to F, G, and
Yeah. And just that's how I did it when I first started quilting. Is I watched as many quilters as humanly possible, like all the YouTubers I could watch and how they did their stuff. I would say it with any new technique that you're trying to tackle, just put in YouTube, like, FPP or foundation paper piecing. If you're looking for legit kits, put in legit kits and watch them all, because they're not all gonna teach the same way. And one person might teach you this part in a way that you understand, but the other person teaches you the next part in the way that you understand. So watch everybody. I'm not so big in my britches that I think that everybody is going to learn everything from me, because I didn't learn that way. So I wouldn't recommend it to anybody.
Yeah, I mean, always, I start with your favorites, of course, but branch out, and we're not going to get upset if you go watch someone else's tutorial. I encourage folks to go find the tutorial for that project that speaks to you. I teach the way I want to be taught, and it works for a lot of folks, but I'm not every, there's people that can do certain things better than me for certain people as well. So
I'm still watching other people and still learning and still figuring out new hints and tricks from people that are out there putting their stuff out there. So I don't think that you ever stop learning.
No, absolutely. All right, let's see. All right. One of these I'll get it right. Okay, Janice from the Right Way is here as well. Good morning. She says, good morning. Yeah, Janice is a wonderful lady. I love her dearly.
Yes.
Janet says she wishes she could see others using their stash. That is a good point. I try and show that where I can. A lot of my projects, like the Express Yourself, hang on, it's right over here, that you've all seen recently. All the colors are scraps.
Love it.
That's
I heard that was Bear to make sure all those points matched up and everything.
Oh, they don't. I,
Not even.
I, I'm not that concerned. I mean, when you look at it as a whole, you're not going to notice that it's, far
Yeah.
from perfect. So, finished is better than perfect. I think, who was it I watched? It might have been Crystal last night, where it said like a finished, or no, it might have been Stacey Lee. Someone has, a finished quilt is a perfect quilt. And I'm like, that is a wonderful
Yep.
go live by. So, like it doesn't have to be perfect. And even I think it was someone said last week, it might have been Amy C, said that she went to QuiltCon, and like you have to apply and be accepted to go into that show. And like even their stuff was not perfect. So, perfect is great, but really it's, usually not attainable. So just do the very best you can. And, I think finishing our stuff is just the way to go. So
That's exciting to hear that somebody, because I haven't been to a quilt show yet. Ingrid and I are actually going to the one in Pittsburgh in August. And that makes me feel a lot better that the rest of these folks are human too, that they're in these big judged shows, and even them, you can, if you're trying to, you can find like the imperfections. So that's good to hear.
oh, it is, yeah. So just do your best. I always, I know Stephen says if you can't see it from a galloping horse, it's good enough. I believe in the 95% rule. If it's 95% perfect, it's still a solid A. So yeah, just, if you make a mistake, look at it. If it's something that you can live with, just let it go and move on.
Yeah.
And then I also sit there and like, is it worth the time? If it's going to take me 20 minutes to rip it out, is it worth to me that 20 minutes, or can I just let it go? And a lot of times it's like, I'm just going to let it go, and it works out beautifully. All right. So we got, good morning. Everyone's popping in. I'm going to miss people. Mary Ann is here. Nellie Francis, hi. Sean and Shannon, sorry I'm late. Don't worry about being late. We are on early. We're just happy you're here. So, I think it's wonderful that you're here. So don't even worry about that. I know we start early, and I don't expect everyone to be here at 8 o'clock or whatever time is wherever you are. So, we're very happy just to see you here. Shannon is working on her Sail Away FPP by Legit Kits. And I'm working on some mini blocks for my Wizard of Oz. So I'm actually going to try and get some sewing done. I mean, I'm easily distracted. I think I'm undiagnosed ADHD or whatever they call it, because I'm always distracted by something shiny, and I actually have shiny fabric, so it's making it even worse.
Oh, I love green's my absolute favorite color, and that is shiny green is even better.
Yes. And we'll talk about this off camera before we started. And this is actually the sheen that is made by Kona Cotton. It's the same company as does all the solids that I use. And I've had a few people ask, is it difficult to sew through? And the answer, thankfully, is no. It doesn't really feel it's like it feels just a hair thicker than regular cotton, but it doesn't.
Yeah.
It doesn't sew any different to me than just the regular cotton, which is nice.
No, and even you just holding it there, it looked like it had a pretty good drape. Like it wasn't just, cardboard stiff. Yeah.
Yes, I mean, I've been really happy with it. I never even heard of it before. It was because it was called for in the pattern, and I'm like, I'm going to have a lot of fun trying to find out, find this stuff. And thankfully, my quilt shop that I go to all the time had the full line, because they have all the Kona cotton, and I was like, well, I'll go over there and see if they have it, and if not, I'll order it. And sure enough, they had all of it, and I was like, oh, this is going to be so nice. Like, so
that's a rare gem to have a shop that's got everything. That's exciting.
Yes. No, I'm very, very lucky there.
And I just got from Art East. I'm always afraid I'm going to say that name wrong, but they just released all the cat, the puffin, and the otter patterns, and I just got those with stickers because they were the most adorable stickers in the world. So, and puffin is my favorite animal, so I had to be all over that. That one I got a kit for because I wanted to get it done.
Yeah, those are fun. I actually remember, like, he does the reveals on a Zoom. Was it once or twice a year? I can't remember. Does he have a fall line, or is it just a spring?
I'm not sure.
Okay, me either.
Can't speak to that. Yeah.
I'll ask him when I talk to him next week because big announcement. I'll announce more officially tomorrow morning. But yeah, John from Art East will be my guest here next week unless something changes, you know. But as far as we know, he's going to come and hang out with us for a little while. And I'm super excited to have him on board. So
Yeah, awesome.
yeah, very, very excited about that one there. So yeah, I can always ask him that next week is when he's doing the next reveal. I think it's like June as well that he does the yearly solo along, which is what the Wizard of Oz is this year. And I think he reveals that in June. And I'm very, very excited to see what it is because I have absolutely no clue. Brenda says that she loves metallics. Pasita says, Crystal, from what you show on your channel, you're the only one that sees your mistakes. I totally believe that we are our own worst critics.
Oh, 1,000%.
Yeah. And especially if you make it a quilt as a gift for somebody, especially if they're not a quilter or something, they're never going to see the mistakes. And if they do, they're not going to care. Like,
right.
You know, the quilt police, you know, some people say it's a thing, some say it's don't listen to them. Like, it's better than most people can ever do. It's beautiful. It's never going to be perfect.
And it's a testament to where you are right now.
Exactly. Yeah. Like you know, where you'll look at what you did today versus a year from now, and you look at the stuff where your first quilt was, and you know, it's always progression. You always got to learn. You know, nobody started quilting and won best in show on their first try.
Right.
You know, on their first quilt. So, you know, don't worry if it's not perfect. You know, like I show my blocks sometimes on, you know, people are like, oh, your points are wonderful and everything else. And I'm like, yeah, it's off by like 2 stitches. Yeah. You know, in the grand scheme of things, it looks really, really good. It's just, you know, we have to let go of that. It has to be perfect.
I agree.
I'm being a good boy and ironing my fabric.
Oh, I'm very bad at that.
Well, I was too. I was absolutely terrible. As everybody who watches this show for more than 10 minutes knows, but I think I was doing the scarecrow block, and that kind of broke the camel's back. Like, yeah, you have to iron that stuff. So I've been a whole lot better since, and
nice.
I have improved from it. So if you're like me and don't like to iron, I really highly recommend that you just take the time and do it. It will get easier, and you won't hate it as much. And the game changer for me was my clapper. I couldn't remember the name of it there for a minute. So if you don't have one of these, run out and get one.
Yeah, I know there are a lot of differing thoughts on clappers, but I am team clapper.
Yeah, I never understood what it was and what it did and everything else. And Fallon put out a video like right before she started selling them on her Etsy store, and it finally clicked. Like it made sense to me as why it was useful and what it did and everything else. And I was like, you know, it's kind of something I was interested in, and I wanted to support my friends, so I went ahead and bought it. And yeah, if this thing, like if Finley ended up chewing this, well, if she could chew this hardwood, you know, good luck to her.
You're gonna have some gentleness.
Yes, I would go out and buy another one in a heartbeat. And I'm actually considering buying a second one anyway, because sometimes you want to press 2 things at once. So
I think Lori Holt, when I watch her, I love her voice. And so I will end up watching hers, like drifting off to sleep a lot at night, her YouTubes. And she's got a whole row of clappers along the back of her ironing station. And she's just always slapping them down on all the pieces.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea. Like, I don't know if I'd have to get a whole row. I think like 2 or 3 would be good. But yeah, I've been thinking to myself for a while now, I really do need to go and get a second one, because, you know, sometimes I'll iron one piece and then I'll pull the next. I like the chain piece. And I just, you know, sometimes I get the one piece and I've got to sit there and wait for it to be done. So having a second one, I think would be a good thing. Mona says she's take a daughter to work. Goodbye. Well, thank you for joining up with us. Kate is here. She says, same as squaring up. Sometimes it's tedious, but it's really important. Absolutely. I'm kind of terrible about that too, but I kind of can wing it most times. But yeah, there has been times where I really have in, appreciated the fact that I have taken the time to square stuff up as well. So, all right, we've got some batik. Janine says batiks are my love language. Yeah, you and me both.
Oh,
Um,
yep.
there's some people out there that like them, some that don't, and that's cool. You know, like everyone likes different things. Like a lot of folks like florals, and
Yeah.
that is not for me. Like I'm not a florals person. Now, if it's a floral batik, I 9 times out of 10 I'll enjoy it. But otherwise, it's yeah, I'm not a huge floral person. But you know, again, it's different for everybody, and
Yep.
I'm very picky. I'll be the first one to say that I am very, very picky when it comes to my fabrics.
About the what pieces about the fabric, about how it feels, about what's on it.
Yeah, the prints. I mean,
Oh, the prints on it.
yeah, mostly the prints. Like I'm not dedicated to a particular brand or a particular designer.
Okay.
I just like what I like. But yeah, I tend to be very, very picky. It's one of the reasons I don't really subscribe to any subscription boxes, because a lot of the stuff that they have just doesn't speak to me.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of it is because I'm a gentleman. A lot of the people that do the subscription boxes gear it towards the ladies, which if I was a business owner, I would as well, because you know that is the lion's share of your business.
Right.
That's kind of why I gravitated towards the boutiques, as I found as a whole, I prefer what they send in a boutique box than what they would in a traditional box as well. My friend Courtney is here. Good morning, Courtney from Pieces of Love and Quilting. It's good to see you.
Good morning.
She and I have been good buddies for a while. She has her own channel. She's been away for a little while, but she is planning to come back very, very soon. So if you haven't subscribed to her channel or checked it out, definitely head over and see what she has going on. And she should have a lot of cool stuff coming out in the very, very near future as well. Martha, my moderator, is doing a wonderful job putting out all the links for me. So thank you for doing that for me.
Moderators are awesome. They are so helpful.
Yeah, they are. They're like the unsung heroes of Alive, because
Awesome.
yeah, even though I have, I guess, which makes my job a whole lot easier, you know, doing all the links and everything else does take time, and there's so many moving pieces to Alive.
Yep.
You know, they say men can only do one thing at once. I think I've got it down to like 2 things at once, but you know, talking, sewing, watching the chat, that's 3, and that's about as far as I can go. So I'm a hot mess most days.
I think you're doing a great job at it.
Well, thank you. Yeah, it's yeah, I'm doing well. All right, let's see what's going on here. So you told us a little bit more about recently why you started the channel, and what you plan to do. What is your like? What is your more long-term plans for the channel? Like I know you talked about wanting to be an instructor for legit kids. Do you have any other goals? Is this something that you want to do like full time, or you just want to maybe hit a certain number of subscribers or views, or you just want to see where it goes? Like what sort of goals?
So honestly, no, I am still shocked and amazed that I went from the 50 of my family and close friends followers to now almost 350 followers. So it's happened pretty fast. And what I've been trying to remember, and I've said it to a couple of friends, is that I'm just trying to not think about it too much, because I will overthink it to death, and then I will stop doing what it is, because I will have come up with every reason why I shouldn't be doing it, because all of the negative voices that go on. So I'm just riding the wave and going where it takes me. I'm so excited to be able to do the block of the month. I'm so excited to be able to collaborate with, I'm working with Stephanie Stitches. I'm working with Stephanie on our 2-color quilt challenge. You know, you reached out to me to say, hey, you want to be on a Brekkie? I'm just going with what happens. I'm so excited and thrilled, and I'm sure at some point I'll need to start thinking seriously about where I want to go. But right now I'm just letting the wave take me where it wants to go. So I'm just.
And I think that's a wonderful way to think about it, because I'm sure you've probably run into this as well, that where you plan on starting and where you end up 6 months later is two different routes altogether. And I think Stephanie must have heard us talking about it, because she's just popped into the chat as well.
Okay.
So good morning, Stephanie. It's always good to have you here with us. So yeah, I mean, I planned on doing more tutorials, like super beginning basics, and I've just falling into a completely different route. I'm loving every minute of it. I never planned on doing lives, but I had so many people reach out to me about this time last year and say, hey, we'd love to see you do some lives. And I think I may have told you this story, but my first live was an absolute disaster. Yeah, she's grinning, so I have told her this story. I figured, let's just give this a try. I was not prepared at all. I went on. I think I had to pull out "He Who Shall Not Be Named." Within a minute, the dog started barking and everything else. And about 3.5 minutes in, I said, okay, I'm done. Thank you very much. Goodbye. Have a good day. And I went and deleted that video. So if you ever want to see my first live, you can't. It's gone. You'll never see it. I did learn from that. Like I sat there and looked at it after, there was one or two little tears in my eye after I felt so embarrassed. But, I did learn from that. I was like, okay, I have to become more organized before I start a live. Cut your fabric, make sure you got your full bobbin, all that sort of stuff there. So, we sit here and joke about it and we have a good laugh, which is great. But, it was important to me that happened, because I feel, much more prepared and thankful that actually happened.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, my good mate Russ here. He says you can always take over someone else's live. Yes, we can all have a good chat about that too.
That was pretty funny.
that was a funny day. Yeah. For anyone that wasn't here that day, Russ was a guest on the live here a couple of months ago, and about 45 minutes in, and we're getting close to that mark, heaven help us, my power went out. I did pay my bill. It was an issue with the electricity company, not me. It just went out, and I figured, since I was I started the stream and I started the Zoom meeting, that the live just went bye-bye. Apparently not. Martha texted me about 10 minutes later, said, hey, Russ is on the live by himself. And I'm like, what?
Oh my gosh.
So yes, Russ,
he did a bang-up job.
Yeah, he did a fantastic job, and my hat's off to all the people in the chat, because they just kind of stepped up and started asking questions. He was just kind of like a deer in headlights, like, where did Sean go? What happened? What am I doing? It was his very first solo live, but he handled it like a champ. And, the viewers were very gracious and helped him out as well there until I could get back online from my car, because the power was out for like an hour. So yeah, we've all learned from that. Yeah, we all now, everybody knows what happens if your power cuts out during your live. If you're by yourself, you're fine. It usually just cuts out and away you go. But if you have a friend, your friends could be there by themselves.
You're riding solo.
In Compound, it's good to see you. I see you pop in every so often. It's always good to have you here with us as well. I think I caught everybody this morning, but if I missed someone, I apologize. It's like we talked about a few minutes ago. It's so many moving pieces. All right, where did my there's my magical sheet. Okay, so what got you into quilting? Like, I know you were on a interview with Stephen from Stephen Bland and the Idiot Quilter early this week. If you haven't seen that video, duck over to Stephen's channel and check that out. It was a lot of fun. But what got you into quilting? I always love hearing these stories, because you're a fairly new quilter from what I understand.
Yeah, just 2.5 years. And like a lot of folks, boredom during the pandemic. I had not been working remotely. I've worked remotely most of my adult life in careers, but at that time, what I was doing, I was actually in the office, and then we went remote, and I had a lot of free time just hanging around the house like everybody else, and was taking trying to learn different things, tried to learn tatting, tried to learn digital arts on the Procreate pattern or application on my iPad, and none of it really stuck. And so then I saw on TikTok because even though my kids say I'm far too old for TikTok, I do enjoy watching TikTok. I saw a girl do a rag quillo, which is a pillow quilt that it folds all up into a pillow.
Okay.
And I thought, oh, that's really cool. So I did that, and that was just 12.5-inch squares. Like, there was not a whole lot to it, but I battled it out with fleece is not the easiest thing to start off with.
No,
I found that out. But it was a lot of fun, and Lauren still has it, and that's my oldest, and it just clicked. I don't know. I just really liked it, and I thought everybody in the house thought it was going to be the next. I jump in with both feet. I will buy all the gadgets and the fun stuff and everything, and then 3 months later be like, well, that was fun, and never touch all that stuff ever again. And I just assumed that this would be the same way. And 2.5 years later, I'm guessing it's kind of stuck. It's become a part of my personality now.
Oh, excellent. Yeah. And I think it's great that you did that. Was it hard finding a sewing machine and that sort of thing during the pandemic, or?
No, yay online ordering. I got the same. I actually, because I didn't know what I was doing, I got the same machine that she was using, which was a Singer patchwork, which is what I'm using right here. So I just ordered that. I think might have been from Walmart, possibly.
Okay.
Might have been. She might have had an affiliate link, and I might have done that. I'd had a Singer, the heavy duty, because we were all at home, and my kids would ask me, the boys would ask me to hem their pants and stuff, since we weren't really, going out to be able to go to a tailor or anything like that. So I had that, but again, because I like the gadgets, and she was using this, I was like, oh, that's what I need too. So I got it too. But I sold the heavy duty to make myself feel better about getting the patchwork.
Right.
So I was responsible there. Still having pants, which I told them the tailor shop is closed officially after my sister's wedding reception, where I hemmed some pants. I was like, all right, that's it. I'm done. I'm not doing clothes anymore unless it's clothes I want to wear.
Yeah, I have a very, very short list of people I will do that for, because I admire those that can do garments, but it is not my love.
Yeah.
I'll do it for immediate family members upon request, but that's about it. So
Yeah.
I'm totally with you. But yeah, I mean, I think, the stuff that people can make with, fabric in the garment, absolutely amazing, but it's just it's not my love language. So, it's just one of those things. So, you do you. And I was always curious. Like, I know finding fabric sometimes for, that time period was almost impossible.
Yeah.
It's actually a happy accident for me. I went to go buy some black fabric for a quilt during that time, and I couldn't find any. Like,
Oh, wow.
white, black, couldn't find it anywhere. But I found what they call Kona pepper, and it's like a very, very dark gray. And I bought that because I was like, it's close enough to black, it'll do the trick. And I actually prefer it now to black fabric for backgrounds for the majority of my quilt. So,
very cool.
Very, very happy accident. Oh, motor's back. Very good. But the thing I found was almost impossible to find was the fusible interfacing, like that you use for t-shirt quilts and that. Because I actually had a couple of commission orders for t-shirt quilts, and I went to go find the interfacing, not knowing that everybody was using it for masks. And trying to find it was impossible. Joann's was out for months. Ended up buying some stuff online that was like 4 times more expensive, and was not nearly as good as what the Pellon stuff is. So my lesson from that is, when I get down to less than a bolt, I go buy another bolt.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah. I currently have 2.5 bolts sitting here with me. So, I always keep a good stock on hand. So
I've not ventured into the world of t-shirt quilts. I think that might be one of the things I'm scared of. People have said the t-shirts are super fiddly and because they're all different fabrics and so I just was like, okay, that's just not anything I need to do.
I disagree with that. I've worked with just about every fabric known to mankind on a t-shirt quilt. I've used knit shirts, I've used polo shirts, I've done a baseball jersey. I've even used like those Hawaiian shirts.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there's pretty much not the stuff that the technical tees that you use like for exercising and stuff. Out of that, the fusible interfacing to me is the game changer because it won't stretch and that sort of thing there. And if you plan on making more than one t-shirt quilt, go out, spend the money. It's like $150, $160 and get yourself a heat or steam press because it makes putting the interfacing on so much easier. You use a regular iron, it'll take you 15 minutes or so to do one shirt. The steam or heat press takes about 1.5 minutes.
Oh, wow.
And they're also good for like pressing yardage and everything else. I mean, my wife bought me mine for Christmas one year because she figured it'd be helpful. Because I thought about it, but I kept seeing reviews online. Like some people said they were wonderful, some people said it wasn't any good. And so she just bought it unbeknownst to me, and I'm so grateful for that because it's been an absolute game changer for me. I wouldn't, if the moment if it ever dies, I'll go ahead and buy another one.
Oh wow, yeah. Oh, that's cool. And I like that it's a multitasker. It's not just only one area that it works for.
Yeah, no, it's great for the t-shirt quilts, but I also do it like if I need to press my backing fabric, because when you get backing fabric, it's always folded up and you got that big crease, and you can just do a lot in a short amount of time. So
nice.
All right, Linda Denton is here. Good morning. It's good to see you. Courtney says, don't be afraid of that because you might fall in love with it.
Well, there's the other hazard, because if I fall in love with another thing, when am I going to ever get anything done?
Well, it's going to save you time. Like, yeah, if you're ever on the fence about getting a steam or a heat press, just do it. It's one of those, it does have, it is an expense, but you will get your money's worth out of it. I mean, I've gotten more than my money's worth out of it just by doing my t-shirt quilt and pressing my yardage. What one do Cheryl's asking which one I have. It is a steam fast steam press. I forget what model it is, but I think my wife bought it on Amazon. It's like $140, $150. I can probably go find a link to it if you want. But if you look that up, you'll find it pretty quickly. I actually have the steam fast little iron as well. I love this thing for this pressing.
Not one of the recall ones, right?
No, not one of the recalled ones. But I think the recalled ones are like 2017, 2019. I bought that one last year off my mate Stephanie. So she asked me the same question. So, but no, it's definitely not one of the recalled ones, because the recalled ones have a very, very short flange, whatever they call this thing here, and this one's much, much longer. So
is that what is ending up being the problem? Is the short stubby?
Yes, from what I understand, because it wasn't long enough and it was causing stress on this part here.
Oh, okay.
And that was causing like the wires to come loose and cause shorts. Ooh. That's kind of what I got from it. I mean, I could be wrong. So someone knows more than me, please let me know. But from my understanding, that was the issue. He says it is worth having to have a heat press for anything. Yeah, I totally agree. If you have the space and the funds for it, definitely think it's worthwhile for just about every quilter out there, because it's like you said there, it's very, very versatile. All right, so Amy says she's listening while she gets ready to go to Saturday Sampler. That's at her local quilt shop. Her and Russ,
fun.
They go to the same quilt shop, and they do the once a month they do like a Saturday, like block of the month Saturday Sampler thing. I think they go to different times. I think there's like 2 sittings or something like that, if I remember correctly. Russ and Amy have both talked about it in the past. I think there'll be a lot of fun, but going all the way down to Atlanta once a month to go to a quilt shop for so long is a little far from me. So
might be a little much, yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, I think Atlanta for me is about an 11-hour drive if I'm lucky.
Yeah.
All right. Janice says that's my understanding as well, Sean. So it sounds like I'm on the right track there with the Steam Pass being. So
Gotcha.
all right. So we're getting there slowly.
Excellent. I am a cut the fabric as I goer, which can, well, probably is slower. Well, I don't know. You take the time to cut it all at the beginning. It is just the way I've always done it with FPP. On every FPP project, I've always cut the fabric as I'm whatever piece I'm working on. And so I'm still cutting. The block I'm working on has 8 pieces. It's this one, but it's a full page of just, pieces straight across the page. So I'm working on cutting them up to finally get to work on putting them together.
Yeah. And I think when I've done my FPP, I think I've done it the same way. I cut out as I go. I think to me it makes more, but let us know in the chat if you guys do FPP, do you cut the fabric out as you go, or do you do it ahead of time? I'd love to hear everyone's answers on that, because I thought the way to do it would be as you go too, but I think I've seen some folks do it ahead of time. I think Donna, for instance, does hers ahead of time. She's far more experienced than me. So, and I think it's a personal thing. Like, I think whatever works best for you is what you should do. Like, just because we have, 25 people say right now that they do it ahead of time doesn't mean that's the only way you can do it.
It was very, Courtney says what?
She does as she goes as well.
Yeah. It was because when I was showing how to do the block of the month, I was showing everybody how to do it. I cut all the paper or all the fabric first for each of the 4 blocks. And it felt so foreign to me to do it that way. It was really good to show it that way. I think it was important to show that's how you can do it. But I said, even in that live, I was like, and next month I'll be doing it the way I usually do it. And we'll show you how I do it that way. Because it felt very weird to me to take the time to cut all the fabric all at one time. And so I'm like, I'm definitely in the school of cut it as you go. That's where I feel most comfortable.
But that's good to hear. I think, how you presented on, like you said, how you presented online, like as a tutorial or as a live, can be different to how you normally do it. And it does feel super, super foreign. So totally get that. Amy says she cuts FPP as she goes. Mona says I use the largest piece to cut strips. Janice says I don't as I go. Sorry, I do as I go. Okay, all right. That's what I thought you meant, but I'm not. I wasn't sure. So it seems like most people are like you and do it as they go. To me, I think it makes more. It's probably easier that way.
Yeah.
But again, if you do it the other way, do what works best for you. I am definitely not here to judge anybody. And I don't know what I'm. So you don't want to listen too hard to me, anyways.
I just whatever is going to get you through it with the least amount of curse words, which means that you'll be happy as you're doing it. That's the way to do it. Yeah.
And Ingrid brings up a very good point here. She says, I cut as I go most of the time because I want to jump in quick and get the sewing. And that is me too. Like, I'm totally about that.
Yeah.
Like, even a traditional piecing, it depends on the thing. Like, sometimes I'll cut out everything ahead of time, but sometimes I'll just cut out enough fabric to do a block or two, so that way I don't have to spend hours cutting. I can just get into it right away. So I'm definitely on that bandwagon. All right, so Marianne says I cut as I go. Rebecca Bryan from Bryan House Quilts teaches to cut them all first. It's kind of foreign to me. So it looks like most people are on the cut as you go.
Team.
Here. Good morning, Chloe. It's good to see you. Thank you for joining us this morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, Chloe's one of my good buddies. I got to meet her at the quilt show here earlier this year, and she was on my channel a few weeks ago. She sewed, I think, what was it, was it Clue 2 or it might be Clue 3 of the Village Green puzzle.
Village Green?
Yeah. Kate says, I do know that using solids or batiks, it's easy to cut things ahead of time, but I find with right-sided fabric, I cut as I go. It's easier, especially with those angled pieces. That is excellent advice. Yeah, I work primarily with batiks and solids, so I can get away with it. Yeah, sometimes you want to cut as you go, so that way it looks right. Because sometimes if you use different parts of a print, that makes a lot of sense. So that's excellent advice. I like that a lot.
It also depends on if you end up getting a kit. It depends on where you get it from for FPP, because some places are really good, like legit kits. They're really good with giving you a healthy amount of fabric. Yes. And some places it's far more advisable to cut right from their cut guides and how they suggest to do it, because they've only given you that much fabric. And if you stray outside that, you're going to be very sad. You're not going to have enough fabric.
Yeah, I know. And that's frustrating. Like I am a miser when it comes to fabric. I try and cut it best I very can to minimize how much I use. But yeah, there's been some things I've bought where you don't get very much extra at all and you make that one mistake. If I remember correctly, doesn't legit kits have the guarantee, like if you run out of fabric, they will send you more, like free of charge? Is that correct?
Yeah, they have a couple of pretty wild guarantees. If you miscut, they will send you fabric free of charge, because their goal is to have you have a finished quilt and something to be happy with. Because if you're happy with it, then you're telling other people about how happy you are, and it's just a full circle kind of thing. What they'll also do is if you purchase a pattern and a kit, like all the fabric and everything, you can also purchase the oh my god, what did I do protection plan. So no matter how far you are into it, if you've made one block or you've made 13 blocks and you decide this is not for me, I can't do it, I don't want to do it, they will buy it back from you. You have to buy the protection plan with the kit. Like you can't just, at the end say, well, I don't want to do this. Like at a restaurant, you finish your plate and you say, oh, that was terrible, I'm expecting you to take it off my bill. Right. You have to buy the plan ahead of time. But they will you send them back all of the fabric, everything that you have, the scraps of the pieces that you've cut, pieces that you've sewn together, you send it all back to them. They buy it back from you, so that you don't have to have that sitting on your shelf staring at you in judgment for the rest of the time. I've seen that. It's like 12 months, I think you have, right? Yeah.
And then the other neat thing I saw, I don't know if you're aware of this, is that if you, and I don't know if it's just if you buy the kit or if you just, if it applies to the pattern only as well, but if you make one of their patterns and you enter it into a show and it gets a prize, I don't know if it's first or if it's just a ribbon, they will give you a free kit.
Oh, I know that they, if you win, they put you all over their social, like they talk about you. I did not know that you got something from them. I didn't know that part. Ooh, that's exciting.
I read that somewhere, and maybe someone can tell me for sure, because my memory is horrible, but I'm pretty sure if you win or if it's a ribbon or stuff like that, it's like a huge incentive. Like if you, it's like really good advertising for them. Like
it is. It's like, really good advertising.
That's kind of like really given me the inspiration to do Toasty at some point and actually enter that into a show and see what happens. I mean, the chances of me winning with something like that's fairly remote, but stranger things have happened.
You never know.
You never know if you don't try. And hey, if I get a $300 or $400 kit free out of it, then
right?
I'm
it
sure
was well worth it.
I'm not going to complain, so. All right. I did have to bring my little friend out, unfortunately.
You know, he needs his camera time too.
Yes, he's a camera hog. All right. Well, he says cutting as a bear, I do it in stages. That's one reason I have so many projects. And that's one of the things I love about cotton cuts is that, you know, it's all pre-cut. You just open the package and away you go. So, and I think it's one of the reasons I haven't started toasty yet. Well, I haven't bought the fabric yet, but I'm kind of, that's gonna be a lot of cutting, a lot of organization and everything else that I just don't want to really deal with at this present time. So
the organizing piece of it, I geek out about the organizing piece of it. Have some spreadsheets going on, checking off boxes, making sure I've gotten everything done. I like the organization part of it. I think getting the kit, opening it, and getting it organized may be one of the highlights of putting a legit kit together for me.
yeah, absolutely. And I think organization for a lot of projects is important. Like my Wizard of Oz and my Mythical Darksons, when I cut the fabric for that, the first one I didn't organize it and it was an absolute bear. And then like the last couple, what I did is I went ahead and printed, and I'm quite proud of this. Printed all these cool little labels. They're just like little pieces of paper, nothing fancy, with the letters on it. And then I just cut out the fabric and I attached it with a clip and put it in this cool little tin, you know, because every sewer has to have their own little tin that used to have cookies or biscuits in it.
Yes.
Yep. So I'm a little closer now because I have my cookie tin. That's been a game changer. Yeah, if you got a complicated pattern, I know it's a pain sometimes to do all that stuff, but you will thank yourself later on when you do that. So yeah, that's made my job a whole lot easier. I might actually finish a block here if I'm lucky.
Hey.
Mine's a little easier than yours, so if you don't finish yours, it's perfectly okay. All right, let's see. Did I miss anything in the chat?
I'm a slow sewer overall, so I'm always like, I'll get it done when I get it done.
Oh yeah, for sure. And I mean, I think it's something like with your speed, you'll get. I've noticed I've gotten faster as I've gone along, but don't worry about your speed. You know, I know some people have been concerned about, you know, oh, I'm slow and this and like, don't worry about that. You know, like some people drive fast down the interstate and some not so much. You know, and the ones that aren't doing so much need to be out of the left lane. But
yes, please.
Other than that, you know, you go.
Is that our PSA for the day?
That's your PSA for the day. Yeah.
Stay out of the left lane, fools.
Yes, if you're not passing people, stay out of the left lane. You know, otherwise someone might pit maneuver you. All right, let's see. Yeah, so Courtney will be back soon of her videos. We're all been waiting patiently for that. She's always a lot of fun. And if you haven't seen Courtney's channel, definitely head over and check that out and check out some of her previous videos. She's always a lot of fun. She does a lot of lives. And she's always fun to hang out with. You know, she does so many different projects. So she should be doing more content in the very, very near future. And if you do have a video, not a video, a channel that we haven't talked about yet, let us know in the chat so that way Martha or myself can go ahead and put your channel link in. I always like to promote others wherever I can.
Yeah, I love learning about new ones. Like I said, I'm constantly learning, so.
Oh, me too. I do not have all the answers. I'm not perfect. And I can attest to that as you see me sit here unpicking this wonderful piece of fabric that I put on backwards. All right. So what else have we got going on else here? Do you have any, you're talking about your 2-color quilt project. What other projects do you have going on at the moment?
So I'm going to sound like an insane Stephanie Stitches stan, but it is true. I'm a super fan of Stephanie Stitches. So we have the 2-color quilt challenge going on. And then I'm also working on her spring project box.
Okay.
I'm also working on, because it can never just be one or two. I'm also working to finish up 2 quilts for comfort cases,
Right.
which I learned about on your channel, which I'm very thankful for. Excited
Right.
to be able to start doing that.
Yep.
And those are really, and cotton cuts, of course, which I'm also working with Stephanie Stitches on. We get a group of 55 of us together every month and sew up the cotton cuts clues, which is a ton of fun and very exciting.
Yeah, it's been fun to watch. I mean, I haven't been able to join those, but yeah, it's
that
fun to gotten that huge group together. It's really, really neat.
that has been one of the most fun things that I've done, and came about in such a weird way. And we're all ready to jump on board for Carnival and do it all again. We're having such a good time. So I'm excited about that.
Have you picked a colorway for Carnival?
No, and I was okay. So sorry, no offense. When they first brought out the Carnival fabrics, I was like, oh, there's really only like 2 or 3 that I like. But every time I go back to the webpage, I'm like, well, that one's not so bad. Oh, I need to stop looking at the at the choices, because now there are like 6 that I think I might want to be a part of.
I know they've got some really neat stuff out this time. I think I'm going to do the Bomb Pop one, the red,
Okay.
white, and blue.
Yep.
I think that one will be a lot of fun. It's something a little different. I'm looking to do something a little more high contrast this time, because that's my love language.
Yeah.
I love the lavender, but it's very, very similar, and I'm having to think a little too hard on that one there. So
Yeah.
I'm looking to do something a little more high contrast on that. Chloe says she loves the log flume. That one's a really, really neat one. It's like the aqua and the green and the blue one, I think
Yep.
it is. I think it's Petites, but don't quote me on that. And it's been fun, being able to go on the Facebook group over the last couple of weeks and help them name all the different colorways. That was something
Right.
that's something new they did this year. And it's been a lot of fun being able to participate in that.
It was fun hearing the origin story when you had Kim on your channel.
That was so neat. I've always been curious, and I figured, well, since I had Kim on last week, I'm just going to go ahead and ask, because I love hearing origin stories, especially like for small businesses and that sort of thing. There, because like what motivated you started a business like that in the PMQ, and I just love how it all came together. So if you haven't seen that video, definitely go back and check that out, because the hanging out with Kim last week was such a blast. She's a wonderful lady, and I was so happy to see her hop on and spend an hour or so with me. Poor thing thought that we started at 7 a.m. Eastern last week, so she was actually on the Zoom an hour early, and I'm like,
oh wow.
Yeah, so she was dedicated. I mean, I was very, very happy that she joined me last week. Good morning, Becca. She says, I made it. You did. Thank you so much for hanging out. She's a big supporter of mine. She's been a supporter of mine from the very beginning, and I appreciate everything that she's done for me. And it's always good to have her hang out. It's almost like we've got all these superstars popping in and saying hi to me. They really
starstruck.
I am. I've had some really big names hop in from time to time. Lisa Capin's made an appearance in the chat. Tiffany Quilting Live. So Becca, Stephanie, Stephen. I mean, there's so many of them that I look up to, and aspire to get to their level someday. And if I don't, it's not a big deal. I'm here to have fun. I'm here just to enjoy myself and hang out with some other people, and be able to chat to some like-minded folks, because I don't really have any quilters that live nearby. So, and I'm so shy, I'm not going to go out and find them anyway. So, no, it's really good to have everyone here.
I love how YouTube and Zoom, being able to do the lives and everything, have kind of made it, especially since I started during the pandemic, it made it never seem like I was alone in doing any of it.
Oh, for sure. Oh, Mulder Lasagna has made an appearance. How are you? I remember his name. He's the easiest name for me to remember because his name is Sean.
Very
Yeah,
good.
I think we even spell it the same way. So yeah, he's like the one name I remember. You know, sometimes I see the screen names and I can't remember um their names, and I apologize for that. I'm terrible with names. Um, but yeah, he's one that I remember quite well. Courtney is asking you, Shannon, are you planning to go to QuiltCon next year?
I, maybe. Oh, so that's QuiltCon this year or next is in North Carolina.
Yeah,
Is that
Raleigh, North Carolina.
yeah? I think that I want to do that. I am terrified of flying. So if it is not kind of in a drivable distance, I don't know.
I
I don't,
think you could easily drive there. I think it's only like
oh yeah,
five,
my
6 hours.
my dad lives in North Carolina, so North Carolina I know is a drivable distance. So I think that will be fun and very eye opening because the one in August is a small and it's kind of like an all crafts, knitting, crocheting, kind of all the craft thing with
Yeah.
quilting. Um, and I'm taking a class there with Jamie, who's Cranky Kangaroo from Legit Kits. So I'm very excited about that. But QuiltCon would be very cool, and I'm sure I have a couple of people that would jump on board and go with me if we all decide we want to do it. So
I think there's a lot of us. I think I know Becca's definitely going. I'm planning on making an appearance.
yeah.
Almost certain Stephanie's going. Um, Courtney's making an appearance. I think Beth from Goody Goods is coming. I mean, there's gonna be a lot of us down there. So yeah, come down, join the party. I mean, I think we got to do like a meet and greet at some point as well. I don't know. There's
Oh,
been
that'd be so.
yeah,
That would be. See, it doesn't even matter to me. Like all the big name people who were there with their quilts and their shops and stuff. I just want to come geek out and meet all of the people that I've followed for the past 2.5 years.
yeah. That's it's gonna be a lot of fun, and I'm looking forward to it. I think more than likely for me, I'm probably just gonna make a day trip. Um,
Yeah.
just trying to find accommodation and paying for it and all that sort of stuff there. And my vacation time is limited, so I figure I might
Yeah.
just get up at like 3 o'clock in the morning on Saturday, drive down there, hang out all day until I pass out, and then drive home.
Yeah.
And then my local quilt show, the Mid Atlantic Quilt Festival, is like the next weekend, and it's like 20 minutes up the street, so it makes it a whole lot easier for me.
Yeah. I need to get to that one too. That one's definitely not that far from me.
Yeah, it's a lot closer. Yeah, if you make it down to that one, then I'll definitely be there. So I try and go pretty much every year now because it's so close. Oh wow, okay. So it's Becca saying here, Karen Brown from Just Get It Done Quilts will be there, and as will Ian, the off kilter crafter. Oh, Tiffany's
Ah,
making an appearance. Okay, yeah, we all have to go to QuiltCon.
yeah.
So Janice from the Right Way says I'm very shy, but love to meet some of you as well. I'm about the shyest person you'll ever meet, Janice. So and I know you live fairly close to there. So it's in Raleigh, North Carolina, Mona. It's not far from me. And Donna Tucker and probably several other content creators I forgot. It's Raleigh, North Carolina. Yeah. So it's in like the latter part of February. I think it's like the 22nd to the 25th. Probably
Yeah,
off
it's
by
gonna be a birthday present to myself.
yeah. 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 So more details about who's going, when, where, everything else will come out in the coming months. But yeah, a lot of us are planning on making an appearance since it seems to be fairly close for a lot of us. And then even our friends in Texas and Arizona are making it, and Kansas, and probably other places I can't think of, also making an appearance. Janet says, I would love to go. Come on over. They do have planes from Perth to Sydney and then over to us. So we would love to have you come and hang out with us for a while. That would be a treat. I know it might not be possible, but if you could, that would be great.
How fun would that be? That would be awesome.
Yeah. Mona says it's only about 8 hours or so. I might be able to go. My birthday's in February. Yeah, so's mine. So yeah, let's just all do it as a birthday treat to
There we
ourselves.
go. Are you early February or late February? I'm Pisces
I'm,
February.
I am an early February baby.
I was not born in a leap year, so I wasn't in danger of being a leap year baby, but I'm right at the end. So
I knew someone that was born on the 29th of February. I can't remember who it was. It was someone I went to school with, I think.
that's cool.
So, okay. So in 2025, it's going to be in Phoenix. Okay. I was wondering where it was going. So I'm guessing it's going back. I think it was in Phoenix a few years ago. Was it last year? I can't remember. Was I know Stephen, I'm not Stephen, Tiffany and Eric from Treasure
Heart.
Yeah.
Yep.
Janet says, would you host me if I came over? We can make those arrangements. I'd have to talk to my wife about that, but maybe. All right. Becca says, I know a few of us content creators are trying to secure a day, time, and location where everyone gets a chance to come and meet other viewers and some of the creators they follow in one location. Massive YouTube meet. Yeah, that's what we're planning on doing. That's more details on that will come out as we get closer, because I don't know. That's one of the hardest things, I think, is because it moves around from place to place. We don't know the convention centers and that sort of thing, as well as if it's in the same place each year. Like I know, when I go to the Mid-Atlantic Quilt Festival next year, I know where I'll have my meet and greet because I've been there before, and I know a good place to go. But because it's somewhere new and I haven't been to Raleigh Convention Center and how it's going to be all set up, it's going to be a little more difficult. But we'll figure it out and communicate on everybody's channel and everything else. So I actually finished something. Hooray!
All right. Oh, it's so pretty.
But hopefully it looks like an emerald.
I think so. I just like the shiny center.
Yeah, that turned out really, really nice. I love how it's turned out like that. So that's what I got done.
All right, let me finish this seam and I'll show you what I've gotten, what little I've gotten done.
Hey, every little bit helps, so. All right, so Becca's saying here, if you're a content creator and want in, doesn't matter what platform you're on or how big or small you are, please email her at Becca. So Becca@sobecca.com. So definitely do that, because we'd love to have as many people there as possible. I know Becca and I have talked about this a little bit before. What we want to try and do is have one central location for the viewers to come and see us all in one go. So that way you're not having to bounce from place to place to place to place to see us all. You can come see us.
Potentially miss out on somebody that you like because the times are wrong.
Exactly. Yes. So that would be a little bit fun. So yeah, definitely do that. I'm not sure who's spearheading that meeting. It might be me. It might be Becca. It might be the two of us together. Who knows yet? But we will sort it out. But Jeff, we'd love to know who's planning on making an appearance there, so that way we can kind of coordinate together and go from there. Pasita says, Emerald, my birthstone. I'm hoping I'm pronouncing the name right.
Yes.
I am getting it right, or you're hoping I'm getting it right? All right. Last year was in Phoenix. It will not be in Phoenix in 2025. She'll be at Disney's with her mama instead. Okay, excellent. I've never been to Disney. But pro tip for anyone that ever wants to go to Disney, if you ever want to go and you want it to be quiet, go the weekend after Thanksgiving. Not Thanksgiving weekend, the weekend after, because the place is dead. Because apparently everyone goes there for Thanksgiving and everyone travels on Thanksgiving, and the weekend after.
It's a good quiet one.
No one's there. We went down to Universal one year for that. We needed to get one more trip in to get status on one of the airlines, and we figured, let's just go down to Universal, and it was dirt cheap, and we went to Universal, and the longest line we stood in was 8 minutes.
Holy cow.
It was absolutely amazing. We went through Universal Studios and Islands of Adventure, both theme parks. We got there at 11 o'clock in the morning, and we went through both parks and every ride by 4 o'clock.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
Yeah. And we're talking to the staff there, and they're this weekend's always like so quiet. And like on the way home, we're talking to people, waiting for the plane. They went to Disney. I said, yeah, Disney was like super quiet that weekend as well. So yeah, apparently if you want to avoid the crowds, inside a tip, that's when you go.
That's the time to do it. Awesome.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm working on this the H1 block, which is the last row of Sail Away. And it's all the deep purples of a sunset. So I'm very excited about these colors. So that's just 3 of the strips.
All right. You're working on the Sail Away, correct?
Sail Away. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Becca was asking if you're doing month 2 of Vortex, but no, she's doing Sail Away, which is the sailboat.
Yep, the sunset sailboat. So beautiful.
It's a beautiful pattern. I've seen that one. It's beautiful. I've actually been on a sailboat once, and that was a lot of fun.
Oh, nice. I haven't gotten month 2 yet. Yeah, they haven't shipped yet. I'm in the same boat with waiting for them to come with everybody else, because I haven't reached star ranks yet where I get inside track on the on the blocks.
No, one day you'll get there, I'm sure.
One day. That's the hope.
Yep. Kay says, yay, purple.
Yeah, they're gorgeous. This is the lineup of the colors left for it. Lots of good deep shades. Mm-hmm. It's going to be a good block.
Yeah, Kona has such a beautiful range of purples. Like, there's some of my favorite colors that they produce.
And
which is nice.
Some people, I don't know, I'm not sure why or how. Some folks say that they feel that Kona really frays a lot, and I haven't done like best press or anything like that on the Sail Away pieces. But I haven't been frustrated by fraying at all. I might have a higher threshold of pain for that for some reason, but I just haven't been frustrated by it.
Me either. And like I've heard that too. Like, some people have said that it frays a lot. And yes, there are times where I've seen it fray a little bit, but it's not been anything more than anything else. So
yeah,
I don't know. Beats me. All right, Kate, she's says good night to everybody. It's late here. I mean, it's almost 11:30 p.m. tonight where she is. Stuff to do in the morning. Take care and have a great day. Thanks, Sean and Shannon. Great live. Thank you. Yeah, Becca was just wondering if you're an ambassador for Legit Kits, and the answer to that is not yet. Correct?
Not yet. And I'm also trying. The goal and hope and dream is to become a certified instructor, so that I can teach at guilds and different shops in the area. I'm up in Frederick, Maryland, so we have a few kind of local shops right around us, and that's the dream.
Yeah, hey, dream big. You never know. Becca's also saying here, Mike Odell, who is the founder and owner of Legit Kits, explained the myth behind low quality Kona cotton on Donna's channel when she interviewed him. Yeah, definitely.
It was such a good interview.
That was a lot of fun. Yeah, if you haven't checked that video out, duck over to Donna's channel, Handmade by Ying, and check out that video. I watched the majority of that, and that was a lot of fun. I want him to do the Sydney Opera House as a kid, and I suggested that, and he said, that's possibly in the works, like architecture. I think like an architecture line would be wonderful. So, we'll see. I'd love to see stuff like that. Like the Golden Gate Bridge, or that, something, that sort of thing there. So yeah,
I love the range.
I don't know if it's ever going to happen, but you can always plant the seed, see where it goes.
Yep.
Kate the Purple Wall says, that being said, I'd love to do the goldfinch. It's Iowa state bird. Becca says Frederick's near her. She's up in Northern Virginia. So yeah, you guys are almost neighbors.
Yay!
Yeah, I was up that way last weekend, but I did not have enough time to stop by and say hi to Becca, unfortunately. I'll get up there one day. So we went up to the DC Zoo on Sunday.
Oh, so fun.
Yes. Yeah, our exchange student loves animals and zoos. So we've been taking it to just about every zoo within driving distance.
Oh, that's very cool.
The area. And yeah, they had the big giant pandas and all that sort of stuff up there. So we figured that was a good one to take it to.
I know the Baltimore Zoo used to have polar bears, but I don't know if they do anymore.
Oh, okay.
So I would take the kids out to the Baltimore one because of the polar bears, but I'm not sure if they still do.
Yeah, we'll have to look at that on their website and see if that's, because that might be something I'd love to go see a polar bear.
Yeah. Plus there's the aquarium there, so you really could make it like a day.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I've been by the aquarium. I haven't been to the aquarium. I know exactly where it is. I've been to Baltimore a couple of times.
I love the Inner Harbor. I can see a baseball game, a football game, the aquarium, and a zoo if I drive a little bit further.
Yeah, we've been to the baseball game. We went there. What was it, like 10 years ago? We actually got club level tickets there for not a lot of money.
Snazzy.
Well, I found if you go on like StubHub and that sort of thing there, like the season ticket holders are not going to the games, they sell them for close to face value. And you can get usually better tickets, in my opinion, than what you can get on the club's website. And it's all guaranteed, like the official way you get, you're not buying random people to get there and it's not right. So
right, the weird scalpers where the tickets aren't actually real tickets.
Exactly. Yeah. All right. Well, goodbye, Mona. It's good seeing you twice today.
Bye, Mona.
All right. Where do we see? Someone has asked me what I was talking about. We're talking about QuiltCon in Raleigh 2024, end of February. That wouldn't be super far from you. And we're talking about a lot of us going there and having a meet and greet. And that way you can kind of meet up a lot of the YouTubers that you follow. So yeah, check it out and see if it's something, we'll give more details as it gets closer, but we'd love to see as many of you guys as possible because you get to see our lovely faces each and every week, but we don't get to see yours, and we'd love to meet up with you. I got to meet up with a few of my viewers in February, and it was a highlight for me because it's just really, really neat to see it. Oh yes. Where'd my computer go? There it goes. Janet says Uluru would be really, really neat to do as a legit kit as well. And that would be so much fun. So yeah, we need to send Mike Odell a huge list of our requests and just see what comes through to
what comes up. Yeah,
what comes up.
They are like, they did the bottle of wine and the candle, which was very not subdued, because the contrast between the Merlots and the candles was gorgeous. But then they have the Super Hornet airplane.
Yeah.
So the gamut is like they'll put it together. They'll put anything together and they'll figure it out.
Yeah, and it's nice that they have such a wide variety of things. So like you said, they've got the muscle car that just came out, the whatever. They have the dragon, which one day I'll put together.
They have the flowers. They have
it's always interesting to see what they come up with next. So
yeah, the birds, they were talking about the goldfinch. I have BJ the blue jay to do. It's crazy. They're great at what they put together.
Yeah. One of these days I'll actually make the one I have. We'll see. Yeah, they have some neat stuff. I think for the majority of it, I'm going to live vicariously through everybody else because I just have so many projects that I want to do, and I just don't have enough time. That's why I have like 17,000 projects. I have a finishing problem.
I have a Monday through Friday 9 to 5 problem then.
Yeah, that gets in the way for me too. All right. So Stephanie says to Shannon, Sarah says hello, which is her daughter.
Hi, Sarah.
Sarah's a lovely young lady from what I've seen so far.
She was
And
my
then
bestie at the retreat.
Becca's asking you, how many legit kits have you done?
Finished. That's where I have a problem, is finishing. I was lucky enough to be a tester for SailAway, so I did all my test blocks. I did what I was supposed to do. But as I was doing the testing of SailAway was when I was like, oh, I really want to do this. And so I started my YouTube channel 3 months ago, and quickly found out how time consuming all of this is. So I haven't finished SailAway. And in that time, I also started the trio of flowers for my mom. So I've got each of the 3 flowers in various stages of finished. I've started the legit kit, the bomb. I have Skulliver, mini Skulliver, and BJ the Blue Jay. I might have a problem.
You know what? You're just future proofing yourself. You got all the stuff already, so if it raises prices in the future, you're good. That's how I like to think of it.
There you go.
And so you're fighting inflation. So that's what you tell you. That's what you tell your husband when he asks.
Oh, I don't need one of those.
All right, let's see. Chloe says she wants to do Margot the Boxer.
Oh, so cute. Yeah.
Yeah, that one's a fun one. If they had a Darkson one, I think I'd just have to hit the buy now button and figure out how to pay for it later.
Yeah.
It's probably a good thing they don't have a Darkson one, because that'd be dangerous.
Yet.
Mary Ann says she's a serial starter, not a finisher. Quilting of Stephanie Stitcher says the same thing. Me too. Yeah, I love quilts, making quilt tops, and I'm not so good about quilting them. But I'm also one of those folks that want to be the person that starts to finish, which is why I have not sent them off to a long arm, because I feel like I need to do it from start to finish, and that's just a personal thing. But I don't know. Maybe I'll have to send some off to a long arm someday. Who knows? We'll see.
The goal, become a certified instructor, and then also get a long arm. If those 2 paths could collide at the same time, I'd be so excited.
Yeah, I'm not sure that I want a long arm. And, yes, I know 5 years from now I'm going to have one, and I'll be like, what were you thinking, you crazy nut?
Why did I fight it?
Yeah. But I'm at this point in my life, I'm still very, very happy just using my domestic machine. And, I have friends that have long arms. So I think if I really, really needed one, I could probably just go over and borrow theirs, or rent from them, or just send it up, pay them and let them do it. So I just don't have, there's not a space in this house that we have where I could actually put it without a lot of maneuvering. So I just don't think it's something in the cards for me at this.
I would have to kick out my son.
Yeah.
So, one day when he doesn't take the trash out, that'll be it. He's out and my long arm's in.
Ian apparently is doing Margot the Boxer. And I believe Margot is the correct pronunciation. I think it's like a French or Belgian name, I think. If I'm mispronouncing it and someone knows for sure, please let me know. Kate says the Cranky Kangaroo did a video on how to use your own fabric for legit kits. It's so interesting and made no sense. You should watch that for your drag. Okay, I'll definitely do that. She does a wonderful job on her videos as well. So yeah, I didn't realize she did that. I know someone showed a picture on their on the Facebook group recently with they actually did it in blue. I'm thinking now like maybe pink or green or purple yet. But
somebody has the wasabi. Somebody did the toasty in green and named it wasabi, which was the most adorable thing in the entire world. And I think she has the whole like colors that she used available. And then pink would be very cool. I'm absolute crap at color theory. So you have to send me all the fabrics to do it. But I love watching people that know how to do that. So if you do it in like some wild color, I will be fascinated to watch that.
See, part of me wants to do it in pink because the one from the dragon from Shrek is pink.
Oh yes.
Dragon from
Yeah, Donkey's
yeah,
wife.
Donkey's friend. Yeah. So I don't know. I've said this before, and I still stand by it. I think that's gonna be one of those things. I'm going to take the pattern with me, the color guide with me to the store, and just let the fabric talk to me. And whatever the fabric tells me to buy, whatever inspires me that day is what I'll come
Yeah.
with. So whether it's pink or purple or green, that's kind of the three colors I'm down between right now. And someone suggested doing an all batiks, and I think that would be fantastic.
The people that have done their kits in batiks, like the muscle collar in batiks, was stunning.
Yeah.
Amazing.
All right. Oh, there's a turtle one there. They're talking about
So cute.
they're saying that's a nice one. That one's cute as well. I just don't have time to do them all.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna leave and I like FPP, but my heart is traditional. So I think I'm gonna do a little bit of FPP here. Yeah, I think we'll see what happens. Like what I say I'm going to do now and what I do in 6 months is two different things. So I'm never going to say never, but at this point, I'm not going to do too many legit kits. But yeah, I think if you want to do FPP, they're a wonderful, wonderful company to deal with. I love how simple their patterns are, and easy and intuitive they are, because like I bought another pattern recently and I looked at the stereo instructions that came with it. And I'm like, this is something that Donna's going to teach later in the year. And I'm like, I'm so glad Donna's going to teach it because I don't have the foggiest idea.
No idea what's happening.
So we'll see what happens from there. But it's getting close to, we're getting to the closer side of 10 o'clock here on the East Coast. So I think we'll go ahead and wrap things up in the next couple of minutes. I'm so grateful for everyone that showed up. We've had a wonderful chat. It was so much fun hanging out with you. But why don't you tell us a little bit more about the channel and the cool things that you have coming up in the near future for those people that wandered in a little after 8 o'clock?
Sure. So again, I've just started my channel, so I'm only 3 months in, and I think I have 25 videos now. But so what I'm now getting into is a routine from Sean and from Stephanie and from Stephen and from plenty of other people who have done just things that it's better to get on a routine so everybody knows when they can come see you. So my routine now is I'm doing Sunday brunches. So kind of like Brekkie. I didn't realize when I was thinking of it how close that was, but you definitely are a mentor in all of this. So it's an homage to Sean. I do Sunday brunches every Sunday now from 11 to 1 live on my channel. And also from Sean's suggestion and encouragement and prodding, because I can be stubborn. I've started doing a podcast on Wednesday. So I film it Wednesday evenings, and I'm having a really fun time learning all about editing and putting together the pictures and things that I've done. So that part is kind of fun too, also time consuming. But those will be going out Thursday morning. So I just did my first one this past Wednesday evening and posted it, went live on Thursday. It was awesome to get a note from you that said, "You did it." I was like, yes, I did.
I think come up and it's like, I have a podcast. I'm like, I love seeing everyone's podcast. Becca has a podcast as well. She started hers recently. And it's been super successful for her, I believe. I love watching that every week. Stephanie does hers. I'm probably missing some other folks, but yeah, like when I started my channel, nobody was doing podcasts, and I'm like, okay, let me get the ball rolling, because over in the knitting community, every person has a podcast. They don't do lives. Like it's the exact opposite to us. Like here we all do lives and not a whole lot of podcasts, although it's changing, and I'm super excited about that. Whereas over there, everyone has a podcast and they do very good lives.
I didn't know that. That's cool. Yeah, so that's going to be like my go to. I'm going to do those two. But the Sunday mornings after the Legit Kit block of the month comes out, that Sunday I will be also sewing them live with anybody that wants to join me, whether you're doing it digitally and you're picking your own fabrics, or if you're doing the kit. I'm going to do that every Sunday following when they mailed it out. It got to me pretty fast. So that first Sunday, the brunch will be shortened, and I will sew the blocks with everybody that comes in. So that's pretty exciting to have that towards, like, working towards my goal of becoming an instructor, which is very, very exciting.
You'll get there, I'm sure. Becca did ask too. No, sorry, Janet, I'll get it right in a minute. How did you come up with your name for the
for my channel? Oh,
yes.
So this drives my kids crazy because I give way too much information, but it's my first name, Shannon, and Lee is my middle name. So that's how Sleigh, it seemed funny at the time, but I definitely don't mean it as a sleigh, like a sleigh. I have a friend that is working on my to do a logo for me, and I was like, I don't want it to be Christmas themed. I don't want people to think that that's all I'm doing is anything Christmas themed. So we'll see what she comes up with. She's amazing. So it doesn't have anything to do with Christmas or sleigh. Not that I don't enjoy going on a sleigh ride or whatever, but it just happened to be what my first initial and middle name.
It's always, I think it's always fun to hear, how people come up with their names. Like mine kind of just came to me. I used to sell like knitting drawstring project bags and that sort of thing on Etsy years and years ago, and I had a different name for the store, and I can't remember what it was now. And I kept getting these comments on, look, it's a guy who sews. It's a guy who sews, and then a guy who sews was taken on Etsy, but the guy who sews wasn't. I'm like, well, like it's a great way to differentiate myself from everybody else. And then I have a buddy of mine who's a graphic designer by trade, and I said, hey, can you draw me up a logo, for the store? And she's like, yeah, no problem. I'll do it during my lunch hour. And what you see today is what he did during his lunch hour.
During his lunch hour.
Talented. Like it'd take me 15 years to come up with something that interesting. Because I said, I just want something to tie me to Australia. So that's where you come up with the koala on the needle. It's just
on the needle
thing. And then when I switched over to YouTube, the logo just came over with me. I didn't have to do anything. So so if you have access to a graphic designer, you got a friend or something like that, and you have a channel, just reach out to them and ask. Most friends are more than happy to help. You have to buy them, a bottle of wine or take them to dinner or something. It's well worth it because it makes the world a difference. So
I promised my friend Jess a dozen cupcakes if she would hook me up. So
that's because to pay someone to do that stuff, it's expensive. It's their artwork is valuable and their time is valuable, and I think they should be compensated for it.
Absolutely.
Just like we are as quilters. But if you can negotiate a deal with a friend of yours for like a dozen cupcakes or a beer or whatever else, then and they're willing to do it, go for it. Absolutely. But I think we'll go ahead and say goodbye to everybody. Thank you so much for hanging out with us this morning. It was a blast having you on here with us this morning, Shannon, and we'll definitely do some more projects together in the very, very near future, I hope.
Yay!
Thank you to everyone that joined me this morning. I love hearing your comments. I always love seeing you guys in the chat. I'll be back tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Eastern for my podcast as usual, and then just keep an eye out for the other videos. If you've missed anything, go back and check it. And go check out Shannon's channel. She is, like she said, she's only been out for a few months. She's had some fun lives. She's had some fun videos. She's doing some great projects with Stephanie and that sort of thing there as well. And if you like what you see, always hit that like button. It means the world to us. It helps the YouTube rhythm discover her as well, and hopefully gets it out to a wider audience. And that just means the world to us. Every comment that we see, it only takes a few moments for you guys a lot of times, but it means the absolute world to us. I know it does to me. and everyone else I've spoken to as well. So yeah, definitely do that.
Yeah.
Show us some love if you like it, and if you don't, that's okay. Like, we're not everyone's cup of tea. But yeah, take us some time, go check it out. I put the link in the description as well. So there we go. So Becca's already put it in there okay, she's put it on there 4 times. That means that she really, 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 really wants you to go see it. So
thank you so much. Oh, it's
so,
very exciting.
all right. Well, if we don't say goodbye now, we'll be here saying goodbye the next 20 minutes. So
exactly.
we'll have a great day. Happy sewing, and we'll see you all on the next one.
Thanks,
bye,
everybody.
All right. Hang on. Let me just.